when you look back at this game one performance from the Warriors, who stood out the most?
Dude, it's got to be Jordan Poole. Clear cut favorite right there. No hesitation. The man was 6 of 6 or 7 of 7 at halftime. Just absolutely unguardable, it seemed like. And you would never know this kid's maybe in his third year. You would never know that he wasn't doing very well in his rookie season. You would never know that he's fresh out of college as of a couple seasons ago, playing like a veteran, very much so. His first playoff series, for God's sakes. I mean, he was able to just control the tempo of the game and he let it come to him. 9 of 13 from the field. He had a couple of assists. I mean, 30 points, +7 in the plus minus. He was just unguardable from all aspects of the court. 5 of 7 from the 3 point line, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. You name it, Jordan Poole was able to do it, finishing at the rim, getting teammates involved. And dude, it was really really fun to watch. I saw a tweet on Twitter where it was like the NBA is in really good hands, and it was a picture of like Jordan Poole and Anthony Edwards, and it's like, wow, like dude, he's learning from Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Obviously Anthony Edwards is growing with Cat, growing with D'Angelo Russell. That's like a young trio, like I said in the last segment. And it's actually incredible that he has become his own star. He's really um, kind of in that conversation for most improved player of the year. And he's just able to carry the Warriors despite Steph's slow start, despite Klay not necessarily getting into a full rhythm, at least on a consistent basis, despite the fact that Andrew Wiggins was only able to give 16. Granted, those are an efficient 16 points as he was 6 of 11, but he gives them that person that can score by himself. He gives them that second option when Steph is off the court. He gives them that option if Steph and Klay are having off nights, or if Steph or Klay is getting doubled, you leave Jordan open. That's a knockdown shooter right there. Jordan Poole is the X factor in this series without a doubt. Trust me, we all understand the impact that Klay and Steph are going to have, and when Steph gets his legs back under him and Klay gets back, to 100%, we all know he's still not necessarily recovering because he's been cleared from the doctors. But when you have almost 2 full years, if not 2 full years, away from meaningful basketball in terms of postseason basketball, it's going to take a while for you to have confidence in your shot. So we'll see what happens in that regard. But I mean, still, I mean, as per usual, I'm talking like Klay was like 2 of 12 from the 3 point line. He was still 5 of 10, which is 50%, which is just insane. But Jordan Poole, man, that's the guy people need to pay attention to. That's the guy that has earned the respect of everybody in that locker room and is earning everybody's respect in the NBA community. Um, Kudos to Poole dropping 30. Man was an absolute bucket, but man, overall Golden State just they were able to get it done, bro. Straight up, straightforward. They are looking like a team that can make a run just because they are the Golden State Warriors. They're used to this particular area. They've been here before, obviously, and they have the coaching staff and they have the personnel. But when you have somebody like Jordan Poole that can go and step up when others are having off nights, it's pivotal, bro.
It's kind of interesting because when it comes like the most impactful player for Golden State as a whole, to me it's Steph Curry. But when you look at this game specifically in the game one against Denver, I mean, Kevin, I'm with you 100% on this one. It's Jordan, but I think a part of it is that you know Steph is always somebody that you have to respect at all times, just because you know what he's capable of. With Jordan Poole, it's a little bit different, just because he's still ascending as far as his talent as an NBA player. But this is kind of one of those moments where he's taking his talents and taking it to the next level, because 30 points in a playoff debut, that's extremely impressive. And I think moving forward in this series, I don't know if Jordan Poole is going to necessarily have this same type of performance like he did in game one. I think this is a situation where clearly Steph was a little bit rusty coming off of his foot injury. That was his first game back in, I believe, at least a month. And granted, Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson, they had respective performances in this game one against Denver. But I think Jordan Poole really kind of looked at the situation and took full advantage of it, because, I mean, Kevin, if I remember this correctly, Jordan Poole only played 30 minutes in that game against Golden State, and he was able to do it in an efficient manner. by dropping 30 points, which is essentially a point per minute. So if Jordan's just consistent for Golden State throughout this series and probably the next playoff series that they'll get to, because I think more than likely Golden State's going to win this series. That's just kind of how I see it playing out. That's a great scenario for Golden State because more than likely Steph's going to get into a rhythm. Klay Thompson's going to have a game or two where he really pops off. I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Wiggins has a good game here and there. Jordan Poole is kind of that one guy that if people are slacking off as far as just knocking down shots, Jordan Poole could be the guy to bail them out and really kind of take Golden State on his back and carry them to the promised land. It's just dependent on what type of game you're getting from the superstars in regards to Steph and Klay and even Draymond to a certain extent. Jordan Poole is still relatively young. He's kind of this face of a new wave that's coming into Golden State because, let's face it, Steph, Klay, Draymond, like this has been the mainstay core that Golden State's had on their roster for pretty much the last decade plus. But really, when you look at Jordan Poole, guys like Gary Payton II, you could look at Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman. This is the new fold of Golden State talent coming into the fold. But really, Jordan Poole is that standout key guy that I think Golden State's going to rely on, not just throughout this playoff series, but for years to come. Because it's going to get to a point in time where Steph is going to either retire or move on from Golden State before he hangs it up at the end of his career. And I look at Jordan Poole as a guy that, he's taking these moments when he gets them and he's taking full advantage of them. And when you could drop 30 points in your playoff debut, that's a sign of things to come as far as I'm concerned. So, as far as I'm concerned, the most impactful player from game one for Golden State, it was Jordan Poole. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does this in the future, in the near future. That's just how I see it.